Hello everyone, like I promised, I'm going to do a little video on Wolfgang for one, and Schnell Imbis. My sort of real first encounter of a Schnell Imbis, and those of you that don't know, basically it's a fast food joint which is normally a little shack somewhere on the street in one of the roads in Germany. Well, my first experience of it was when I got posted to Germany in 1982. I was posted to the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, and I was part of their LAD, which is a light aid detachment, and I was their vehicle electrician. So I got posted there in sort of early 1982. I was in Athlone Barracks in Senlager, and those of you that have been to Senlager will probably know Pink Schnelly, which used to be on the bend as you go up towards Athlone Barracks. But on my first night, I went into town with the lads, went down the strip, down in Senlager. And while I was there, they were getting me to practice to ask for my food in German. So, rightly so, I kept practicing it. So I kept saying, eine Bratwurst and Pommes mit Mehl bitte. End of the night, we were going back to the barracks. We dropped off into Pink Schnelly. So sure enough, I tips up into the Pink Schnelly, looks at the girl behind the counter and says, eine Bratwurst and Pommes mit Mehl bitte. Being extremely proud of myself because, you know, I was spoken to her in German. But the funniest thing was, she looked me square in the eye and said to me with a broad Cockney accent, do you want to eat it, do you want to eat it here, love, or take it home? And I was devastated, absolutely devastated. Brigitte, as I later found out her real name is, was actually German. She was married to a sergeant in 3-9 Regiment down at Dempsey Barracks, who, that unit I actually served with. I got posted at 3-9 just prior to the Gulf War, and I went to the Gulf War with them. But she picked up this broad Cockney accent. So I got my food, went back to the barracks. Well, it was a few weeks later, I was in Pink Schnelly, and a young lad walked in, and he was quite a cocky lad, you know, and I want sausage and chips. And Brigitte just looked at him, and so, in amazement, I want sausage and chips, and she just ignored him. So I turned around and said to him, mate, why don't you just ask for eine Bratwurst and Pommes bitte? So he looked at me and went, why should I? We won both world wars, and we've won the World Cup as well. So I'm thinking, you know, it's not the attitude, you know, not the attitude at all. So eventually I convinced him it'd be a good idea for him to ask for his food in German, which eventually he did. And once again, Brigitte looked at him and with a broad Cockney accent said to him, do you want to eat it here or do you want to take it home? Well, he wasn't too chuffed with that, got his food and stormed out. But one thing I noticed with any of the Schnellys there in Germany, I served in various places. If you attempted to speak to them in German and you got stuck, they would normally come back to you with in English, because a lot of the German people like to practice their English. And like myself, while I was out there, I was trying to practice my German. Yes, I did get stuck on occasions, but I always managed to muddle through with a little bit of English being spoken. So, Schnell Imbisses, yeah, I mean, things like half a chicken, ein halbes Hähnchen, yeah, you used to get for 4 Deutschmarks. Now, when I was there, 4 Deutschmarks was £1. So you get your halbes Hähnchen, half a chicken, and literally that's what they did. They cut it down the middle, put it on a plate or a tray, put your chips on there and your mayo, and that was it. Things such as your gyros. Now, you have kebab, doner kebab here, I'm not a great lover of that, I must admit. I like my my gyros meat, which was marinated lamb. And again, you know, you'd ask for that. Eine gyros bitte, no problems whatsoever. Schnitzels, you get your Zigeuner schnitzel, Jaeger schnitzel, yeah. And obviously with your bratwurst, you could have it as either currywurst or a bratwurst, bockwurst, which is a bit like a saveloy really. But the food was there, yeah, and you would normally find, especially during the day, that there'd be beer on sale at the Schnellies as well. Because a number of times I saw lorry drivers come in, pull in, grab what they wanted, a bottle of beer as well. Yeah, so that's what I experienced with Schnell Imbis in Germany. So let's move on to the wonderful Wolfgang. Those of you that served that in Germany, and especially if you were up at Soltau training area, will know Wolfgang very, very well. Yeah, he was a lifesaver for a lot of us. You know, you're sick and tired of being out on exercise and eating compo food, and all of a sudden, bing, 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 and the blue van would come in, big blue Mercedes van. Now, Wolfgang was known for the fact that if you were lost out on Soltau training area or you didn't know where your unit was, go and speak to Wolfgang and he'd tell you exactly where your unit were out on the training area, on any of the bivvy areas, so on. But it was thought at one stage he was like a KGB spy, because he knew everything. Yeah, I remember with the Black Watch we got the battle group going in full tilt before we went out to do a Medman exercise, and all of a sudden, bing, 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 in came Wolfgang with his blue van. Now, the Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel Sudvik, wasn't an happy man, because everything stopped, because Wolfgang had joined the battle group. And of course, everyone were out there, tanks, APCs, whatever it may be, and going getting food off Wolfgang. Now, it always amazed me how he had enough food and beer, especially yellow handbags, to be able to support any of the exercises that were going on. It also amazed me how his blue van went in places where tanks would fit the tread. Now, part of my job, when I was with the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, I was the driver of the ARV, the Armour Recovery Vehicle. In them days, it was a Chieftain. And as I went through various units, I then ended up as the Fitter Section Commander, as a corporal, for various fitter sections for people like the Black Watch, Royal Scots and so on. So there was one occasion, and it was probably the only occasion I've ever heard of, where I was on my 434, or Barrow as we used to call it. And those of you that know the Remy lads will know that we had a 432 variant with a crane on it, and normally we'd have what we called our penthouse on the back, which is what we lived in. And on this one occasion, I went down one of the tracks in Soltau to find that Wolfgang had got bogged in. So sure enough, went round to the front of him, hitched up the chains and pulled him back out onto the road. And as a thank you, Wolfgang gave me and my driver a yellow handbag, which went down really well that evening, I must admit. But like I say, Wolfgang was a legend. Yeah, anyone that served that in Germany and trained up on Soltau training area, I believe he went down to Fallingbostel and that as well, will have come across Wolfgang. And the fact that he's now got a dedicated sort of display at the Imperial War Museum just shows how that man was loved. Now, as my understanding, the money that he raised and in the years that he actually supported the British troops out there, helped him to buy a holiday camp in Germany, which I believe now is run by his daughter. So, Wolfgang, on behalf of me, all the guys that I served with that met you, thank you very much, mate. Yeah, you were a lifesaver. Yeah, your bratties went down the treat, your yellow handbags went down even better. Yeah, and in some cases, we bought out yellow handbags off him and sold them on to other people. But thank you very much, Wolfgang. Really appreciate it, mate. You will always be remembered by the lads of the British Army of the Rhine. Okay, peeps, that's the video that I promised you. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll speak to you soon.